Welcome back to the Daily Stack. Today, it's September 18th, and we've got a big one today. Before we dive in, let me be clear. This is not financial advice. If you're basing your trades on what I say, that's like buying scratch-offs because your buddy swears he has a lucky quarter. Fun story, bad plan. So here's what's cooking. Lawmakers in Washington, D.C. are talking about building a Bitcoin reserve so big it would make Uncle Sam the ultimate whale. Michael Saylor is right in the middle of it, hyping Bitcoin like it's the cure for inflation. And while that circus plays out in DC, the altcoin market is getting louder. With people wondering if alt season is about to kick off, let's stack it.
Down in the mines where the pickaxe clank, block by block stacking gold in the bank. Digital treasure, no chest, no map. Cypherpunk dreams in the code we trap.
Alright, picture this. A group of senators and crypto execs sitting around a table in DC debating whether or not the US should start buying Bitcoin. Not just a little Bitcoin, up to 1 million coins over 5 years. That's roughly 5% of the total supply that will ever exist. It's like the government saying, we don't just want a slice of the pie, we're taking the bakery, the oven, and the recipe. This all comes from the Strategic Reserve Bill, also known as the Bitcoin Act. It's been introduced, it's on the books, but right now it's stuck in committee. Think of it like your online order that says processing for 3 weeks. You know that it's in the system, but nothing's shipped yet. Enter Michael Saylor. He's the guy that turned this company, MicroStrategy, into a giant Bitcoin vault. If Bitcoin was a sports team, he'd be their head cheerleader, coach, and mascot all rolled into one.
Bitcoin represents a digital transformation of the capital markets, and so the more people know about it, the more they get educated on it, the more companies embrace it, the higher it goes. You can't make any more of it.
He went to Washington, sat down with lawmakers, and made his pitch. Bitcoin is the safest, strongest savings tool the U.S. could ever use.
Our companies raised $19 billion this year.
Right.
All of it went into Bitcoin.
Listening to Saylor is like listening to a motivational speaker. If Tony Robbins only talked about Bitcoin for 8 hours straight.
Why is Bitcoin critical to the prosperity of the United States in the 21st century? That is the question we all should be asking. There are many metaphors for thinking about a strategic reserve of Bitcoin. Bitcoin is digital capital. If we thought of it as Bitcoin as digital capital, is this a stockpile of cheese? Is this a stockpile of oil, natural gas, or even uranium, all of which would be interesting? Well, at its worst case, in its narrowest form, you could think about the Strategic Bitcoin Reserve as a stockpile of the apex asset of the human race. And so what's it worth? Well, over the next 20 years, I think it's worth anywhere from $3 trillion to $106 trillion to the United States.
The man doesn't just believe, he evangelizes. But here's where things get tricky. The government can't just open up the wallet and go on a $1 billion shopping spree.
The word strategic Bitcoin reserve to the casual observer sound like a stockpile of an asset. To a closer observer, it sounds like a stockpile of the most valuable asset the human race has ever invented.
The bill requires everything to be budget neutral. Translation, no new taxes, no extra spending. So they're brainstorming.
U.S. corporations, like my corporation, are actually recapitalizing on Bitcoin. We've gone from having $250 million of assets 48 months ago to having nearly $45 billion of assets in 48 months. If you look out over the next 20 years, corporations that are accumulating Bitcoin on their reserve, like MSTR, like Mara, like Riot, they're going to have $20 to $40 trillion. So this is a small metaphor, but it's a powerful metaphor. But, you know, it's hard to rent out or finance or develop your cheese or your gold or your natural gas buried in a vault. So a more powerful metaphor is Bitcoin is digital property.
They could use Bitcoin already seized from criminals. They could sell off dusty assets sitting in storage. They could redirect money from other federal funds. But until they figure out the details, it's just talk. And that's why the market hasn't gone crazy yet. Traders are excited, but nobody wants to bet the farm on a bill that's still stuck in paperwork. But if this thing moves forward, if the US government actually confirms a plan to buy Bitcoin, prices could definitely explode. Imagine if tomorrow the government said, "We're buying up all the Teslas off the lot." You'd see Tesla prices skyrocket, and every car flipper in town would lose their minds. Same concept here, except the cars are Bitcoin. Now let's flip over the other half of the story today. Altcoins. If you're new to crypto, altcoins are just everything that Bitcoin isn't. They're like opening acts at a concert. Some of them are forgettable, some of them are fire, and every once in a while, one of them becomes a headliner. Right now, we're seeing some early sparks. Solana's been sprinting, Ethereum whales are quietly loading up, and meme coins are back to their usual antics, popping 20% in a day just to prove they can. People are asking, is this the start of alt season? Alt season is that moment when Bitcoin takes a breather, and all of a sudden, all the smaller altcoins start mooning. It's when your cousin, who doesn't know what a blockchain is, starts texting and asking you if they should buy something called Banana Coin. That's how you know the floodgates are open. We're not quite there yet, but the signs are popping up. Bitcoin dominance, basically how much the total crypto market cap belongs to Bitcoin. Here's another simple way to think about Bitcoin dominance. Bitcoin is the quarterback, steady, reliable, takes the hits. Altcoins are the wide receivers, flashy, risky, and capable of turning one play into a highlight reel. Right now, the quarterback is holding the ball, but the receivers are sprinting down the field. When he finally lets it fly, that's when alt season is on. And that brings us to the tip of the day. Keep it simple. If you're new, you don't need to chase every flashy altcoin that's trending on Twitter. The market will make it look like every token is about to turn into the next big thing, but most of them won't. Focus on the bigger players, Ethereum, Solana, maybe a couple others that actually have ecosystems. It's like going to the fair. You don't need to try every sketchy carnival game. Just stick to the rides that don't look like they'll collapse whenever you get on. So let's wrap this up. The US is flirting with the idea of becoming a mega Bitcoin whale. Michael Saylor is in Washington hyping it up like Bitcoin's #1 fan. And altcoins are starting to stretch their legs while Bitcoin dominance hangs on. If even half of this plays out, over the next few months are going to look less like a normal market and more like a summer blockbuster. Loud, chaotic, and full plot twists. Only click the official hardware wallet link in the description. Avoid social media offers, giveaways, DMs, and shady URLs. Your keys are your fortress. Stack smart, stack daily, and I'll see you DJs tomorrow.
Algorithms hum like a city at night. Chasing that hash, yeah, we spark that light. Stack 'em up, stack 'em up.